Hi, it's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life, and today I am talking about food. How to choose the best foods for your hormones. So, whether you're pre, peri, or post-menopausal, we know we need to have balanced hormones for our energy, our mood, our brain power, our weight, our sleep, our digestion, our bone health, and a huge lot more. So, one of the things that we can do straight away and really quickly is choose the right foods so that we support our hormones. Now, I know it sounds easy, and we know kind of what we should be eating, but when you know why you're eating certain foods and how they support your hormones, then it can really help when you're trying to stick to good habits and really bed in those good choices. So the first thing we need to remember is that food is information. It's not just calories and fuel. Food has the power to change how you look, feel, think, and perform. And it does this by sending messenger signals to your cells and your hormones. And it can literally tell the body to burn fat, store fat, increase your energy, decrease your energy, alter your mood, change your appetite, change how your brain works, or switch on genes that cause disease. So it's incredibly important that we're eating the right foods with the right messages. So what are we eating for hormones? Well, unfortunately there is no one size fits all diet. We know that every single body is unique and therefore thrives on different kinds of foods. But there are some key nutrients that, actually facts that your hormones need to function properly. So if we're basing our diets largely around these foods and these nutrients, you're naturally going to kind of crowd out the foods that don't support your hormones, and also you'll be giving your hormones what they actually need. So I'm going to just talk about the Feisty 4 because I talk about them a lot, because they are the main 4 hormones that when they're out of balance can affect your energy, your weight, your mood, your brain power, and all of those other things. So if we concentrate on these 4 and what nutrients they need to be supported and balanced, you're going to be halfway there. So particularly when you get to 40 and beyond, and the perimenopause and the menopause journey, when hormones are fluctuating, it's even more important to start nourishing these 4 hormones and making sure they're nice and balanced. If you don't know which hormones are out of balance, go and jump over to my workshop. I can put a link in the bottom where you can go through a little quiz and find out which hormones you need to focus on. So the first one is cortisol, your stress hormones. And obviously cortisol is triggered by stress, but it's also triggered by food stress. So we want to be avoiding any potential food stressors. So things like over-processed foods, sugar, alcohol, vegetable oils, those are the kind of big ones. But also things like food sensitivities. If you're sensitive to gluten or dairy or eggs or nightshades or soy or anything like that, so, looking at your reactions when you eat those kind of foods, if there's any bloating, if there's any digestive issues, headaches, joint pain, things like that, or fatigue, you want to be looking at those food sensitivities, and that puts the stress on the body. So taking those out and avoiding those can be really helpful to reduce that cortisol. Cortisol needs B vitamins to support your adrenals. So things like whole grains, oats, meat, dairy, green veg, nuts, seeds. These contain B vitamins. They're absolutely needed for your adrenals to work properly and keep you energized. Your adrenals also need vitamin C, very much depleted when you're stressed. So things like bell peppers, lots of veggies, citrus fruits, broccoli. Magnesium is another big one to support your adrenals. So things like dark green leafy veg, nuts and seeds, dark chocolate, one of my favourite ways to get magnesium. It's your relaxation mineral, very, very important for your hormones, but also your adrenals. So those are the types of foods and lifestyle tweaks that we want to be making for cortisol. Insulin is your next one, and that's obviously for your blood sugar. Now, blood sugar balance is absolutely critical for balanced hormones in general. If your blood sugar's out, all your other hormones are going to suffer from that. So making sure your blood sugar is nice and stable, eating protein and healthy fats at each meal, that's going to help you feel fuller, but it's going to stop you snacking as well. So that's going to keep your blood sugar nice and stable. Choosing the right carbs. So we want carbs in our diet. We want the right ones that release their sugars more slowly. And that reduces cortisol as well, because cortisol gets released when you have low blood sugar. So we want to be loading up on the veggies. They are the good carbs, and all the slow carbs like, the whole grains, oats, quinoa, brown rice, that kind of stuff. We want to be avoiding those quick carbs and the sugar as much as possible, because that's going to put you on the blood sugar roller coaster, and we want to get off of that. And we want to be using things like cinnamon, really nice to help balance blood sugar. And you can also take that in a chromium and cinnamon supplements are nice too to do that, to help you do that. Thyroid is number 3 of your Feisty 4, and thyroid hormones need a whole load of nutrients to work properly. And we know that thyroid can get worn out and sluggish as you get older, especially if there's any stress around. So your thyroid needs all these nutrients in plentiful amounts. So we want vitamin D, obviously from the sun, and we're not going to get that through the winter, so we need to be supplementing vitamin D3. That's also going to support your immune system, which we know needs supporting at the moment. Vitamin A, also from some plant foods, but also animal foods, really important for your thyroid. Iron is really important for your thyroid. So if you have a heavy period, or you know your ferritin levels are low, you need to be either supplementing iron or eating iron-rich foods. Selenium is another one. It's also very helpful for your immune system, and it's a very strong antioxidant as well, but it's very critical for your thyroid to work properly. So Brazil nuts, a handful of Brazil nuts will get you selenium for your daily amount, or you can get that from a multivitamin as well. Zinc, very important too, especially for your immune system. All of these things have multiple benefits, so making sure that you're eating zinc-rich foods like nuts and lamb and ginger and whole grains and sardines have zinc in. If you're a vegan particularly, you may be short in zinc, so you want to be supplementing. Iodine is another one, very important for your thyroid. So if you're not eating shellfish, fish or sea vegetables, then you may want to have some iodine in your multi as well. Tyrosine, chicken, turkey, fish, avocado, seeds, nuts and organic dairy have some tyrosine in them, which is critical for your thyroid. Omega-3 fats, we know from oily fish, but also plant-based flax seeds, walnuts, chia seeds, things like that. And avoiding gluten when you have a thyroid imbalance is helpful, because if you have an autoimmune thyroid condition, which is 80% of thyroid conditions, then we know that gluten intolerance is linked with that, as is celiac disease. Estrogen is your last of the Feisty 4, so certain dietary tweaks can help to regulate your estrogen levels. So we want those phytoestrogens, the flax seeds, organic soy if you're not sensitive to it, lentils, chickpeas, they all have phytoestrogens, which are these plant estrogens that help to balance your own estrogen levels. So we want lots of those in our diets. Broccoli and cabbage and those cruciferous vegetables really help your liver to get rid of any excess hormones. That is helpful. Fibre, we want fibre to be able to be properly eliminating. If you're blocked up and constipated, that estrogen's going to go round and round and cause havoc. So we want nice, a good digestive system happening. Organic, where possible, to avoid those pesticides which can be disrupting your estrogens. You want to be avoiding the mass-produced meat and dairy, so buying the best you can and eating more plants, so limiting that where possible, and then avoiding alcohol, because alcohol not only triggers hot flushes, but it also messes with your estrogen as well. And then lastly, on the estrogens, vitamin E, really helpful to kind of boost progesterone, reduce PMS and breast tenderness, and that's in things like almonds, sunflower seeds, olives, spinach, berries, that kind of stuff. So there you have it, a cornucopia of lovely foods to support your hormones, your Feisty 4. And of course, always, if you want to go deeper and find out more about what your hormones are really up to, then do contact us for details of our testing. Hope that was helpful. I'll see you again soon.